Okay, here we are for round one. Won the die roll. Ooh. This is kind of a tester hand. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to just mulligan. Like, there's no way 6 isn't better. You don't really need that many lands. You don't need more than 3 or 4 lands. Kind of unfortunate because Noble Hierarch on the play is where you want to be in every matchup. This is interesting. It's definitely a keep. If I have a land on top, I wonder what I'd do. I have nothing to do with infinite mana currently. See if we do have a land on top. That is pretty interesting. I think we just pass and draw it. I don't like if I play a noble, I still have I only have 20 lands in this deck. So I'm not if I shuffle, if I fetch a land that's 18 lands gone, I have like 18 out of 54 chance to redraw. Creeping Tar Pit, so I think I'm just gonna I don't love fetch shock, but I don't think gonna have a great long game here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play these guys out. It's possible playing Devoted Druid is better, but that gives me with a lot that leaves me with a lot less mana if he has a removal spell. And he does have an Inquisition, so I guess we're playing against Creeping Tar Pit into Inquisition. I actually don't know what deck that is. It might be like there was a very weird Esper deck from Grand Prix Kobe. It might be that played Glorybound Initiate. Took my retreat. 2 Creeping Tar Pits. Maybe he's playing fairies? If he's got another discard spell or a counter spell, the Vizier is gone. But if I have 2 druids, I want to play another druid. I think the reasoning here is now a removal spell doesn't actually stop me from getting infinite mana. So if I spike like a Chord of Calling, I can just win assuming he doesn't have a counter spell and has a removal spell, and it's much more likely that he has a removal spell than a counter spell generally. Though he could be playing fairies. I don't really know what to think of the Tar Pit Inquisition. Okay, there's a Godless Shrine. Still don't exactly know what my opponent's up to. Maybe he'll play something on this turn that'll let us know. This is the one problem. I'm not going to say it's not the one problem, but that is a problem with this kind of deck, is that you really aren't flooding particularly well. You really aren't, like, well, I guess you have Chord. You have Chord and Collected Company. You really have a lot of mana creatures. Ooh, Witness? That actually doesn't do anything. Man, I think I'm supposed to just play it. He did just kill a Devoted Druid. Like, I think we just get back a Devoted Druid. I don't think a retreat. If I draw a Knight and it lives, like, I'm pretty happy, because I can just use infinite mana and win, or get a Gavany Township. So I think it makes sense just to get the Druid back. I can also, like, put a counter on this to deal him 1 damage. No, I'm just gonna not do that. This is kind of risky against like a Snapcaster Mage. You can Snapcaster, take the Vizier out of my hand, but it's the same as before, where I don't want to expose the Vizier. Because if I play the Vizier, you know, I just have infinite mana through a removal spell. He needs like multiple things or a counter spell. I think we are probably playing against the Esper control deck from GP Kobe. It plays like Glorybound Initiate and Lingering Souls, because that's the only deck I know that has like the main deck Brutality and also Serum Visions, I think. And this is like a day after the Grand Prix. Okay, we don't have to worry about Snap. Alright, so he's once again exposed to any Duskwatch, any Chord, Coco would be great. Reflector Mage. Reflector Mage is very good against Tasigur as well. So it looks like he's just fine with me having infinite mana. I think I'm fine with it too, just leaving the Reflector Mage in my hand. Or sorry, not the Reflector Mage, the Vizier. Because I just don't want to get it, like, Collective Brutality. I'll offer this trade. Don't mind having a Witness in the bin also, because if I draw another Witness, then it's pretty great. I should actually pull up that list. Because I'm not exactly sure what's in it. I know that Glory Bound Edition's in it, which is pretty hilarious. It'll be 2017, top 8. Okay, he just takes it. Yeah, I'm not going to play the Vizier. Even though he's at the point where he might be able to like Cryptic Command it or something. I just don't think exposing it to like a Fatal Push makes sense. Akio, Chiba's Esper Control. Okay, 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Glory Bound Initiate, 1 Tasigur, 4 Serum Visions, 2 Thoughtseize, 3 Collective Brutality, 2 Lingering Souls, 3 Painful Truths. Yeah, it's got 3 Fatal Push, 2 Path, 2 Spell Snare, 1 Devour Flesh, 2 Mana Leak, 2 Cryptic, 1 Batterskull. So it actually doesn't even have that much spot removal. We're talking about 3 Fatal Push and 2 Paths. And then it actually has more counters. So maybe I should have run the Vizier out. It's got 2 Spell Snares, 2 Mana Leaks, 2 Cryptics, and the Thoughtseize. 2 Thoughtseizes to go along with... This guy didn't... The guy at the GB didn't play Inquisition, so this guy's playing a split. So yeah, I got a little bit punished there, I guess. But unfamiliarity with the list. And it's very possible, if not likely, that he just has Path or Fatal Push or something in his hand. But yeah, the version from the GP only has two discard spells, other than the Collective Brutalities, which can't take the Vizier. So I think it's fine leaving it in my hand, honestly. We bricked. Could attack with both here, but then he gets to just trade for 1 Witness. I think I'm in not great shape right now, unfortunately. But anyway, as I was saying, like if I'm going off the fact that he only has 2 discard spells, I think it's completely fine. Batterskull, maybe? Kalitas. Ooh, that's problematic. That is problematic. Just in the deck. I'll get the red source in case I draw Kessig. Actually, if I draw Kessig, I might just win. Not on the birds. We drew land. Yeah, this one's kind of getting away from us here. Do I even attack with the birds? Trade for a spirit? No, he gets a zombie? That's pretty bad. Well, we put ourselves in a good spot to win this game, but did not, or at least, oops. Sorry about that. Try to open my XSplit. Thought Scour, sure. So yeah, that deck didn't play Thought Scour. So this is just his own. I'm not gonna say a brew. It's just his own Esper deck, not like the one at the GP. So maybe I got a little tricked, but I never drew a way of winning with infinite mana anyway, so I'm not too worried about not playing the Vizier out. Though I suppose I still have 2 Devoted Druids in play, so I can always just draw. If I just draw a company, I can win, assuming he doesn't have like counter magic for it. He's been tapping out a lot. Okay, now he's going to kill the Devoted Druid, which makes sense. Because I feel like he's pretty likely to have another removal spell for my other Devoted Druid. If not, Coco and Vizier and like Duskwatch or something is live. For how much cantripping and stuff he's done, he only has 2 cards left in his hand. So we're like bizarrely maybe have like 1 or 2 turns. Though if he's got another removal spell, I think we're just dead. Oh, Tassiger, that's right. I forgot about the Tassiger. I should have written that down. Actually, I might not fetch here. Because he's got 3 flyers. If I fetch, that makes the clock better for him. Yeah, he's not even attacking because he's still at 9. Yeah, we're just going to take it and not fetch, I think. Try to draw Coco. Because I can't imagine he's got a counter... Like, maybe he's got a counter Squall, but... Walking Ballista. That's kind of interesting. I can fire that off for 3? Or I could fire it off for 4. If I fire it off for 4, it does thin my deck. But could I die? I mean, if he's got removal, I'm in bad shape anyway. I can, like, block Kalidas, kill all the spirits, block the other guy. I'm just gonna, well, I'm just gonna do it for 3. Because I want to make sure I don't die, because I want to have Vizier to be an out here. And... like, I have 2 blockers now, plus the Ballista, plus now I can untap and block with the Druid if needed. Maybe I should have just done it for 2, honestly, or not at all. I guess I had to do it because you could have drawn a Thoughtseize or something. But we're probably going to die the turn after this one. He's got 2 Creeping Tar Pits. Actually, am I just dead to 2 Creeping Tar Pits? I think so. Actually, I should have just done this for 2. I forgot about the Tar Pits. This is sloppy. Though, I haven't really been in this game, so I haven't been... That's one problem that a lot of players have, including myself. Like, I wasn't really in this game ever, so it felt like... Is that lethal? I don't think it is. So I haven't been playing that my best. So I can, like, chump with this... Though then do I have outs? And I can kill 3 spirits and go to 1. Oh, he's got to go for the throat? Okay. So against a dedicated control deck, and we've seen Kalidas. He's got Lingering Souls. So maybe I want Staticaster. He might also have cards like Anger. I think I definitely want Unified Will. And this is definitely a matchup where I don't think we want Retreat. I feel as though it's very likely that, you know, he'll be able to deal with the Knight. Or if he can't deal with the Knight will just kill him. By attacking or searching up a Castle Front or Gravity Township. I wonder if Duskwatch is good. It's pretty, well, I'm not going to say it's that unlikely. It's not like he's like a Grixis control deck, but he does have a decent amount of ways of breaking up Devoted Druid combo. I think that Scavenging Ooze might be great. Like, I think that it's very unlikely that Duskwatch is better. He's got Lingering Souls. He probably has Snapcaster Mage, so the ability to, like, exile things from his graveyard seems really good. I think that I can cut some Reflector Mages. If he's got Thought Scour, that means he's got a bunch of Tassigers, so I want some Reflector Mages, because it's just so good against Tassiger. But I don't think I want to have 4, if that makes sense, because he just doesn't have that many creatures. And bouncing a Lingering Souls token isn't great. He does have Kalidas, which I kind of want to bounce. I don't think Path is going to be worth it. Pathing against the Grixis decks is just bad. Giving them a land like makes their Snapcaster Mages and Coldness Commands and everything. Well, not Coldness Commands, sorry, their Snapcaster Mages. He's not Grixis, sorry. Pathing against blue decks is just bad because he's got Cryptic Command and Snapcaster and stuff. Don't think I want that. Could maybe put in one Staticaster, but like Lingering Souls, honestly, this deck loves to see Lingering Souls. Like if they tap out for that, then we can really punish them by just comboing the next turn. So I think this is what we're going to run with. You kind of need one Dust. You kind of can't go below one Duskwatch. So, alright, we'll submit this. Still at 30 creature. Oh, I guess 29 with the Ballista, which is still a good number of company cards. This hand's slow, but it's going to be a keep. Like, I can go Vizier into Witness, and I have really powerful spells. And we're not playing against a fast deck. I think if I was, if I was playing against Affinity or Burn or something, obviously you can never keep this hand, but it's the kind of hand that I can't afford to keep against a Esper control deck, which is kind of nice. Though, obviously, you'd always rather have that mana creature. We have 12 in the deck, so it's possible we could draw one on turn 2. Yeah, I could have played a little tighter the first game, so I'm going to try to pay more attention this game. But honestly, I didn't have that many decision points. I was just getting crushed the entire time. But that's not really an excuse. If I have a few decisions, I should try to make them properly. Opponent doesn't seem to be here at the moment, which is fine, I guess. Okay, he's back. So probably just going to get a breeding pool here. Give me a blue mana. Even though, yeah, I guess I have Unified Wills in my deck, so. Thoughtscour could be good. Thoughtseize is actually fine. I have a very, slow, powerful hand, so. He goes bottom. Bottom. I like that. Okay, let's get the breeding pool. There's a company. So I can get the fetch land back next turn with the Witness. Which can be pretty great. Turn 2 Vizier is far from ideal, but my hand's pretty solid, though he could have cards like Dispel or Spell Pierce and stuff like that. Post board. So this hand might be too clunky. Let's go ahead and attack. He very likely will Mana Leak this if he had it. I didn't see a Mana Leak after and he Thoughtscoured himself a bunch. The only counterspell I saw was Cryptic. So let's go ahead and fire in with the Vizier. He lets us. Intention to just play Turtle Witness post-combat. Possibly could have a card like Flaying Tendrils or Supreme Verdict. Don't really. I guess Company helps me play around it a little bit, so I'm not too worried about it. But could be a blowout this game since we have such a slow draw. Like it'll be good at any point. Opponent's being slow. Wouldn't be a Magic Online match without a little bit of waiting. Oh, nice. Coming in. Really hoping he doesn't have a Mana Leak here. Nice. Alright. Solid. Now we have a 4th land for sure. Have decent pressure. I guess if he plays a Lingering Souls, we don't have decent pressure, but If he's tapping out for Lingering Souls, then I get to resolve Chord, I think. Which plays right into like a Verdict or something, but I think it's fine. Okay, this actually is great here. I feel pretty comfortable because now I'm, instead of main phasing Company, I'm end up turning it. It's possible he sided out Lingering Souls. Though I do have like these random 2/1s on my deck. Looks like it's going to be a Fatal Push. Go for the throat on this. Okay, that tells me he probably doesn't have a Supreme Verdict. So I think I'm gonna just get a basic Forest and Coco here. Yeah, I'm gonna Coco. Nice. The order. So I think I'm gonna get the fetch land back. I already have a Collected Company in my hand. And I have a lot of, well, I have a good amount of mana with the Druid. Even if he's leveling me with Supreme Verdict, like, and he has it anyway, I can just play a Company on my next turn. Which means, I guess, yeah, I'm just going to get a Company back. The Devoted Druid gives me a decent amount of mana. And I don't really need to hit land drops, because he's pretty low and he's going to have to deal with these Witnesses, which means he's going to have to invest mana, and then I can use these companies pretty effectively. Yeah, like I can't really do anything too efficient without that land drop. But like I said, I mean, I can just miss land drops and just play a company like every turn and probably win. Kalidas, maybe? Damnation. Yeah, like I said, he could have a Wrath, but I'm fine with this. Because he pretty much just spewed the Go for the Throat or whatever. And we just get the Company again. And not to mention, we can just draw a land. And then that makes us able to Birds. Another Witness. Okay, now maybe I get the fetch land back. If he's got another Damnation, which, you know, like he could maybe run max 2. Could be a little awkward. But I do get the Birds in play. Oh, it's so bad against another Damnation. But then, even then, I can Company again on my next turn. I can just keep Company. This is a pretty close call. Like, I feel like missing my land drops isn't that big of a deal, but at the same time, like, I'm very constrained. Like, the Chord of Calling is basically stuck in my hand, but getting the Windswept Heath kind of unlocks it. Though I also have, I guess, one reason not to get the Windswept Heath is I have a lot of, I've companied twice now, and I've got a lot of non-creatures on the bottom, so I don't really want to shuffle. I don't mind shuffling because my deck still has lots of creatures in it, but yeah, we'll get the Company back. I think this might cost me, but I'm still in a spot where I'm in good shape. He's got to kill the Knight. Well, he doesn't have to kill the Knight, but I have a good amount of mana, and the next turn I can just hold up Company. If I draw a land, I can play Birds. If he doesn't kill the Knight, I think I'll just sack a land to play the Birds. Make a bigger Knight. I have a Reflector Mage, so I have like a Tassiger covered pretty well. Though if he plays like a Tasker leaving the Damnation in his graveyard, I need to be worried about playing into a Snapcaster Damnation. Yeah, having 6 cards in hand without making land drops is kind of rough, but the shuffling thing is pretty relevant, I think, because we've companied. Turn is it? Turn 5. We've companied twice, and we've put 8 non-creatures on the bottom. So it's not that shuffling like makes my percentage that much worse. It's that like right now, I think I have a pretty decent concentration. A Kalidas. Okay. Ooh, no land drop. That is super good. No land drop is super good, because now we're not afraid. So let's think about this. So, like, I have up to 5 mana with the Knight. I feel like there's no reason not to just Reflector Mage this guy. If he had a Wrath, he probably would cast it. Even if he's got a Wrath, we're still in a good shape post-Wrath. But now I have the question of, I'm definitely going to play the Noble. If I play the Noble, I can get in for 3. Or I can get in for 5, which isn't that much more. 5 is not that much more, I don't think. So the question becomes, like, how good is making the knight big versus drawing versus just dealing him extra damage here? 3 this turn puts him to 7, which means I have lethal on board. He's got to interact with my board somehow. It also gives me another mana, so I can play another card. But I don't really want to play into another damnation too much. The knight's just so much bigger next turn, though, if I do that. And I could potentially play a Duskwatch. If I play the Duskwatch this turn, makes me have, like, super lethal next turn. I don't mind going and getting like a Gavney Township here either. So yeah, I'm going to just play the Noble, attack for 3, and pass. Kind of wish I had a Bojuka Bog in my deck right now. It would be pretty handy. So we'll just pass. I'm not going to play the other birds. I think it's too risky. I think I'm just going to fetch a Gavney Township end of turn. Depending on what he does. Thoughtscour himself. Okay. Serum Visions, okay. I think I'm going to sack my forest, not my plains. So the plains doesn't actually do much. Though I can cast all my spells off of like Breeding Pool plains, so... Assuming I maybe eventually sack the Canopy and lose the Hierarch and whatnot. He went bottom and scooped. Okay. I like that. I mean, I was talking a lot that match. Sweepers are always interesting because you get into these really weird spots where you don't really want to invest too much in playing around them. Because then you can end up losing by them just like pacing normally. I wonder if Bojuka Bog is actually worth it here. Feels like if I have an active knight, I'm pretty happy because it just hits him so hard. But at the same time, he's pretty heavy on the delve stuff. I don't know what this nonsense is. So what do I cut if I wanted to play it? I suppose I could cut a Vizier, though it actually seems like for a deck for a control deck, I actually think that he's kind of vulnerable to infinite mana. Because I haven't seen Path. He might have it, like some number, but it seems to me more like he's like kind of a mid-rangey style control deck with like Lingering Souls and Tasigur and Kalitas. And which means he's like doesn't have as much early counter spells. Like I haven't seen like a Spell Snare or Path to Exile. So I think it could be nice to like just combo him, but it's a lot harder to combo him on the draw. Basically, I think I should take out like one of these Viziers. For Reflector Mage. Like he showed me Kalitas both games. He probably has like 2. He showed me Tasigur. This is such a beating against Tasigur. And Vizier is just so low impact if I'm not going to be comboing. It's funny, I'm so used to playing against Grixis that in between game 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure I was talking about sideboarding the Sin to deal with like anger, but he's just playing Esper, which is pretty hilarious. Yeah, I think this is it. I don't love any of the other cards. I think that Bojuka Bog is okay, but not very good if I draw it. And not good if he's already played a Tasigur, so... It's not even that great against Snapcaster Mage, because they can play around it, or like wait till you activate your knight or whatever, something like that. So I think we're just going to roll with this. I like having 3 Reflector Mages on the draw, because if he plays like a turn 2 Tasigur, I really need to have answers to it. And another one gives me like a comfortable blanket to just have it a little bit more often. And also the fact that he showed me Kalitas. I think if he didn't show me Kalitas, then I'm much less likely to like want more Reflector Mages. But turn 2 Tasigur is scary out of any deck, even if they don't have Lightning Bolt or whatever. He can very easily just kill me in a few turns while disrupting me. Okay, there's going to be a mulligan. And this will be a keep. Eternal Witness. Yeah, I'll top that. It's a bit greedy. Actually, if he Fatal Pushes my Noble Hierarch, it's a little bit greedy, but I can still play Vizier on turn 2, and then if I draw any land or eventually get the Witness in play, I can get a land. I can get a fetch land back. Yeah, maybe it is a bottom, because it's not as good as like a company would be. He went top. So I want to be able to cast these Knights if he kills all my Nobles. So maybe I just fetch a Breeding Pool. And then like a Plains next turn. Really hoping he doesn't kill the Noble, but we'll see. He went top, so I feel like, you know, he has got a pretty good hand set up. And if he does, we play the Vizier. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm kind of already regretting this Eternal Witness, because I have so many 3-drops in my hand already. Ooh, a Jace. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. So I can either play a Knight or play Vizier plus Birds. I think I'm going to just play Knight. And I am going to shock myself. I don't want to, but because my Noble Hierarch, I want double grain. The reason I want to play the Knight is I want, like, the Jace is just terrifying. I want to put pressure on him. I've actually seen, like, similar decks to what my opponent's playing before. Now that I've seen the Jace, it kind of, like, my brain has clicked to, like, what kind of deck he's playing. Okay, he doesn't have a fetch land, which is good. Means that he can't Fatal Push me. Though him shocking himself means that he's got something, like a 3-drop or double black card maybe, Snapcaster Serum Visions maybe. He does have Gopher Throat in his deck, so you can actually just kill Knight with that. He doesn't need a Fatal Push. I forgot that I've seen Gopher Throat. I was talking about how I didn't see much spot move. I think he's just not playing Path, but playing Gopher Throat instead. Which I think is smart, because I think that Path is just incredibly awkward against a lot of the company decks. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So very lucky he doesn't have 4 cards in his graveyard. So I think I just attack the Liliana, force him to chump, play Devoted Druid. My alternative play is I could like play another Knight. Doesn't seem too good. Wouldn't be surprised if he just lets Liliana die here, then he can like flip Jace next turn. It's hard for him to evaluate how good the Liliana is because he doesn't know that I have like a bunch of X1s in my hand. So I'm assuming this is a pretty close call for him. Just gonna let him make the decision. I'm not really. There's no reason to talk about what's better. Okay, he's gonna block and loot, which I think I'm kind of happy with. I mean, the Jace plus the Lily, like the Jace is a scary card going later into the game. I feel like Liliana obviously can ultimate, and I guess he can just this makes sense because he can just rebuy the Jace with the Liliana if he's got no target for the Liliana. But yeah, this guy's very, very big. Like, he's very tap out. He plays basically no counter magic. But we play the Druid here. Interesting if he like taps out again, because I could like make infinite mana and put a bunch of stuff in play, but then if he's got a Damnation, I just lose. It's not like there's that much I can play around. Oh, I guess... Wait. I was gonna say... I can get Kessig Wolfron and pump my Druid, but I don't... Like, I can't do that without red mana. So I'd have to draw, like, a fetch land. Was I supposed to fetch a red earlier? I didn't have the Druid at the time. No, I couldn't have fetched a red. I need the blue. It's a Fatal Push. Okay. Oh, gross. Yeah, that's probably game. Push, Snapcaster, push. I basically need a land this next turn. Liliana's going to take over the game. And by that I mean it already has taken over the game. Okay, there's a land. I don't really want to get the red at this point, I feel like. Well, I could eventually like witness back. Could eventually like witness back the infinite combo, so I want the red, I guess. Yeah, I think I need to get the red. If he's got a removal for the knight, I lose anyway. And the red lets me actually like get a Kessig Wolfron end of turn, maybe next turn, to give the knight trample to try to deal with the Liliana. If he's got like any, he can't play around anything in his hand at this point. Like anything in his hand is probably gonna beat me. Don't have retreat in my deck, which I don't think is a mistake. He's got Go for the Throat, Fatal Push on the draw. I suppose I could draw Scavenging Ooze. Would be a good draw. Devoted Druid, I suppose, would be good too. It would allow me to like. It would allow me to maybe get infinite mana and win. So I guess I'm hoping to draw that. Hope he has nothing. I feel like it's pretty unlikely that he has nothing. Like the Serum Visions into top into like Jace, like loot away Brutality, or loot away Brutality. Sorry. Feels like his hand's pretty well set up. He just thought scoured Lingering Souls to the graveyard. Nice. Sick value there. But I'm basically trying to win this game off of an infinite combo, so next turn if I draw a land, I guess I can witness back the Druid, actually, and just play it. So land isn't that poor of a draw. He's fetching, though, on his main phase. Another Fatal Push? That's what it feels like. Or maybe, I'm hoping for a Serum Visions, but it's the only reason why he would fetch on his main phase. Oh, he's just duressing me? Nice. Well, he missed. That's pretty nice. And then he can rebuy his Jace. Or he can flashback Lingering Souls. Okay. I'm not actually in that bad shape, then. Very risky to just fight. Well, I guess he doesn't want to get me to company. But now, like... Now, if I get the Devoted Druid back and play it next turn, he can't... I mean, he's down one removal spell. It's possible that means he's just got another removal spell rolled up in his hand, but... I think if he did, he would just kill Knight. I think that, like... Okay, I'm going to say that he collected Brutality to me because if I have a company, I can just stack a land in company, which he really doesn't want. So I'm going to say that his last card isn't a removal. I think he's just going to flashback Lingering Souls. So this... We could win this. If we draw a land or a Devoted Druid, like, we're in pretty decent shape. I guess we could draw a company as well. I keep forgetting that. I keep assuming that my knight is not going to live through the turn. But if it does, like, we've got draws. Considering any land is a good draw for the context of this game, I kind of like my spot now. Because I'm going to force infinite combo this turn. There's the land. So yeah, he just has to, he's got one turn. He's got one turn to draw out of this. If he just draws a land next turn, we just win. Okay, we get back the Devoted Druid. And what? And we sack this for Kessig. I don't like showing it to him, but I can't afford to not do this. He knows I have the Vizier, so he has perfect information. We just have to survive this turn. He gets to kill the Witness. Yeah, I mean, if he bricks, we win. If he doesn't, we might still be in the game. If he held the Collective Brutality, we definitely would have lost. But at the same time, like, I understand his position. He thinks it's, like, pretty reasonable that... He thinks there's a pretty reasonable chance that I have a company, which he doesn't really have many resources to deal with, assuming I hit anything good off of it. You can also draw Thoughtseize. I don't really... I mean, we're just going to see what he drew. If he just passes, you could draw Cryptic Command. I actually really would... I don't want him to pass. I want him to play Lingering Souls. Okay, what do we want to draw here? Another Vizier? This is interesting because my knight... My knight could just kill him, right? Hopefully he didn't draw Cryptic. If you drew Cryptic, he might have just main phased Cryptic on this. Oh, I guess it makes sense for him to not flash with Lingering Souls because he wants to cast this. Okay, this guy. Assuming he's just dead here, but we'll see. Didn't expect to win this game. This just shows you how powerful the Devoted Druid combo is, because the entire game, like, your opponent just has to deal with it every time you present it. It's turn 6. I mean, he had decent disruption this game. And the knight is nice too, because it lets you getting the Kessig is just so sick. So should I crack the Canopy here? You could have like a go for the throat. Feels like he F6. Is there any reason not to crack the Canopy? I don't think so. So I draw a Chord or Duskwatch or something, I just want to play it. Oh. Oh. Okay, well now I don't even need to use the Kessig. He's gotta respond to this or I win. Which means, I guess if he's got Cryptic, he could still win, because he can like counter it and bounce this? No, then I make Infinite Mana in response. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, just to make sure I don't like... I guess I have plenty of time. Because I'm just going to attack with the knight. See if that wins. Still thinking about a cryptic. There's no way he's got a cryptic. I'm trying to think if there's something ridiculous like a sudden spoiling or something. Oh, scavenging is? Don't have the mana for the Reflector Mage, so I'm trying to take the ooze. He's now passing priority again, so don't really know what's going on. If he's got a cryptic and is leveling me, I feel pretty bad because I could have on my main phase killed him, though I don't even know if I can beat a cryptic. I go through my entire deck. I think he might have a cryptic. He's waiting on my combat stuff? No. I was going to say, I can just play my whole deck out to play around the cryptic or whatever. Because I think the ooze... Is it really a cryptic? Oh, it's a Tasigur? He really had a cryptic this whole time. I really don't know what he's doing. Okay, so then now we just win. Well, I guess he could have drawn a Fatal Push. That's kind of awkward. What I should have done was with the cryptic on the stack. I shouldn't swear. I screwed up there, but it's Magic Online. I should have went through my deck there because. He could have had a Fatal Push. Oh, can I, like... do this? Is that faster? Oh, is the Walking Ballista on the bottom of my deck, too? I guess I might time out here. Oh, there's the Ballista. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I guess there's no way that this would take me more than like 2 minutes. I'm not sure which way is faster, stacking the controls or doing this. I don't what was the deal with that cryptic? What was he doing with that? He couldn't have tapped my... He should have tapped my creatures down and bounced the Devoted Druid, too. Well, that's annoying. Took me a little bit longer than normal. Okay. All right. Kind of sloppy at the end. God, like at the end, I felt like I could have played around Cryptic Command better, but there was a point where I thought he didn't have it. Could I have died there? If he didn't draw a card, if he tapped my creatures and bounced Devoted Druid, I think what I'm supposed to do there is like attack with try to not pump the Knight, but pump the Devoted Druid. Well, he just lets me attack if I pump the Devoted Druid and bounces the Druid, and then he doesn't take lethal. So I attack with the Knight, pump it. He bounces the he bounced the Knight, but if he tap my creatures, that deals with the Knight and bounces my Devoted Druid. Don't I just lose? I don't know. I don't really. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and fire my next match, but maybe I'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure that if he tapped my creatures and bounced my Devoted Druid, he would have won. He would have just attacked me for lethal. So I actually think I screwed up by not. I think I screwed up by not just playing the Scavenging Ooze, because I could have gained a bunch of life off that and eaten his Lingering Souls pre-combat. It just was like, yeah, he was kind of. I think he was trying to trick me with the Cryptic Command, and it ended up costing him the game, which is kind of funny.